Hello and welcome to Relatively Crafty, a knitting podcast. I'm your host, Christy. I come to you from the Denver area of Colorado, where I live with my husband, Ron, our two daughters, Tatum and Delaney, our tuxedo kitty, Lilu, and our Podenco puppy, Sophie. Welcome. Happy May. Actually, May the 4th be with you. Today is May 4th, 2020, and we made it through April. Yay! I hope that you guys have had a decent beginning of May. I know that things are starting to open up a little bit freer. We don't have the stay-at-home order, but we still have we don't have the shelter order, but they're still suggesting that we stay at home, so we are following that. And yeah, I just had my birthday 2 days ago. It was a fairly good birthday considering what has been going on. I was woken by breakfast in bed made by my 12-year-old and a very nice poem written by my 15-year-old, which was really nice. And I got a lovely present from somebody who watches the podcast. I didn't get permission to say her name on the podcast, but she knows who she is. She gifted me the Color Affection shawl by Vera Valimaki. I'll post a picture here. It's awesome. Thank you so much for sending that to me. That was really nice. It's actually kind of funny because she and I share the same birthday, so I was able to reciprocate, and so now we are birthday shawl gift buddies. Anyway, this is a knitting podcast. I know it hasn't been that long since I podcast last, but I have been just knitting like a little worker bee. And I wanted to kind of share with you guys what I've been working on. I do have one FO. It is a pair of socks. If you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen them. I absolutely love them. So I finished my Elf socks by Mustache Yarns. This was a sock kit that she ran last Christmas, I believe. And you basically got a 50-gram skein of the red and white striped, and then which is hollyberry, and then a 50-gram skein of the green, which is elfed, I believe. And then you put them together and you make mismatch coordinating socks, and I think they're adorable. They were so much fun to knit. They went really fast, and I just really enjoyed them. I have mentioned before, but I really like her base a lot. It is very pleasant to knit with. I did these with my regular recipe, a Turkish toe cast on. This one has an afterthought heel, a true afterthought heel, instead of a fish lips kiss heel. 1x1 ribbing, and Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. Aren't they adorable? Just really, really pleased with how this pair came out. And that is, as I said, my only FO, so I have some whips to show you and some new cast-ons. As we've been discussing, knitting Christmas socks right now is high priority for me for my sock knitting. This is pair number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pair number 12, I believe. So I had shown you that I had wound the yarns for all the remaining sock yarn, or Christmas sock yarn that I had, and I was going to just knit until they were all done. I've kind of run into a couple of snags, though. I cast on this next. This is white birch fiber arts in the La Grange Noël, and I guess I kind of made some assumptions that it would be a real Christmas color because it has Grinch and Noel. Well, they're in French, but it's still Grinch and Noel in the title. But I have gotten past where I would put in the heel for the first sock, and I'm just not getting a very Christmassy vibe. What I am getting is a watermelon vibe. So these socks feel more like summer socks to me than they do Christmas socks. And because of that, I think I'm going to put these on hold. please, please don't get me wrong. This is a gorgeous dye job. This is a very beautiful colorway. I do really, really like it. But like I said, I really want to knit Christmas socks right now. So I decided to go ahead and put this on hold, and I will finish these socks at a later date because it doesn't feel like a Christmas colorway. And that unfortunately means that I am down one colorway. I thought that I had enough to make a certain pair of socks, and this means that I'm one colorway short. But I have been lucky in purchasing a couple of colorways lately, so so it's not too bad. But yeah, so this is being put on hold, as I said, and I will get back to that later on when I'm done with Christmas socks. So I grabbed the next skein that I had wound, decided to go ahead and go with another stripey, because we were going to be doing something where I really needed to pay attention to the TV instead of my knitting. So I grabbed another stripey. I grabbed Knitterly Things in Holiday Celebrate, and I haven't gotten as far on this, not even quite a full pattern repeat or stripe sequence repeat, but I'm not feeling a whole lot of Christmas with this one either. Now, I think that once I get through, I think the gray is the next, and then after that I think I go back into the red. I think I can probably pull these ones off. Not all of the ones are like full-on Christmas. Like this was mustache in the Advent skein that they did last year for Christmas 2019, and as you can see, it doesn't have all just red and green in it. So so hopefully when I get a little bit further in these socks, they'll feel a little bit more Christmassy. I am going to continue with these because I feel like there's enough with the 2 shades of green and the red. We'll see. But yeah, so I've been kind of stalled a little bit because I got, you know, so far on that first sock of that other pair, and it just wasn't Christmassy, and then this one is not like obviously Christmassy either. And I've kind of just wanted to knit all the sweaters, so I really haven't made a whole lot of progress on my Christmas socks. But I do still have these 2 colorways, Santa's Bermuda Shorts and the Merry Gentleman by Andromeda Sock Yarn and Lolo Did It. So I do still have those. And then I normally save stash acquisitions for the end, but since we're talking about Christmas socks, I'm going to go ahead and go with this now. This is the order that I made with what's it called? This is one of the recent orders that I made that I talked about in my last podcast. Simply Socks. This is the order I made with Simply Socks. I couldn't remember. This is Socks That Rock Lightweight, Blue Moon Fiber Arts in their Socks That Rock Lightweight base. The colorway is a very vintage Christmas, and I think it's beautiful. It really kind of coordinates well with this one, actually. And then I also have this Knitterly Things Vesper sock that is in Jingle All the Way, and this one, there's no doubt, it's going to be a very Christmas colorway. So yeah, so I have those 2. So I have one more coming from like Norway. That's going to take a while, and then I have one coming from England, which is also going to take a while. I made an order from Woolly Elephant. It's a mother and daughter team, and they do bags and dyed yarn, and they have a podcast, and I've watched them for ages. They're just a sweet couple, mother and daughter couple, and I just really enjoy them. And they just reopened their shop after being closed for a little while, and I happened to check in there, and they had a mini set. It's three 20-gram minis that I'm going to put together to make a pair of Christmas socks. So yeah, making progress. Here is my box of Christmas socks, and we're just waiting for it to get filled completely. I have had a couple of people who have contacted me and said, well, you know, this dyer does a Christmas in July, or this dyer has stuff in their shop right now. Please let me know if you see that stuff or you hear that stuff coming up, because I do really want to get some more. I need like 9 more skeins in order to finish out my 31 pairs. And while I don't have to get them all right now, I'd like to have it to where I only have a couple left to make by the time fall comes around. So, and then there were sweaters. So I don't normally have this happen to me at this point in the year, but I have been on a full sweater kick lately. I just want to knit all of the sweaters, and I want to knit them all now. I am normally a fairly monogamous knitter. I put one big project on the needles and I work on that until it is done, and then I do another one. The only exceptions to the rule is if I will always have a pair of socks going, so I can have a big sweater going and then a sock, or a big shawl going and a sock, and then every once in a while I might throw in a quick knit because I've forgotten to make a gift for somebody, which happens entirely too often. But that is about it. Really fairly monogamous. However, as I said just recently, I just want to knit all the sweaters. I showed you this last podcast. I had started, it was about halfway through the color work. I have finished the color work, and I have taken the sleeves off, divided for the sleeves. I am so in love with this sweater, guys. It's just beautiful. Look at it. Oh my goodness. This is Daybreak by Jennifer Steingass. I am knitting it out of Chasing Rabbit's fiber in their fern base. The Toxic Waste color is called Colorful June. It was a color of the month dyed specifically for my yarn shop, for my local yarn shop, not my yarn shop, but the one I go to. And then the blue is called Indigo. I think they go together so well. I don't know if I did as well as I could have on the color work. I feel like it's okay. My gauge was looser with the color work, which often is the opposite. I find that I have to go up a needle in order to make the color work. This time I did not have to, but I feel like it's looser. I'm hoping that it's not going to be gapey here on the yoke where the color work is done. We'll have to see. I can't try it on right now because of where it is in the pattern. Plus, as I mentioned in the last podcast, I am knitting it two sizes smaller. So yeah, don't think it would fit anyway, but I do really love the way that it is turning out. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, there's that. I just keep looking at it. I can't, those colors, oh my gosh, I just love it. So there's that. Then, while I was working in the colorwork section, I decided I wanted to have another sweater on the needles because the colorwork I really had to focus on. I couldn't work on it while we were watching TV in the evenings because I couldn't look off of my knitting. I had to constantly look down. So it was great for something that I was listening to, but not good for watching. So I decided, I was looking through stuff on Ravelry, and I had bought, ages ago, we're talking 5-6 years maybe, I bought a sweater's quantity of Madeline Tosh Spectrum. Let me see if I can show you how beautiful. I don't know if you're really seeing how gorgeous this colorway is, but it is lovely. and I fell in love with it the first time I saw it. It's like a blurple base with all different kinds of other colors mixed in. It is just gorgeous. And this is Madeline Tosh Vintage, yeah, which is their worsted base, and I've had it for a long time. And I bought, let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 skeins of it. So I had plenty to make anything. But I just kept, in fact, I even, I had wound this up a year ago, maybe. I wound up 6, 7 of the skeins, and I planned on making a, another pattern, but I just never got into it. I even like opened a set up a project page on Ravelry, and I was gonna make it, but I never got. I could never do it. I just didn't want to do it. So so instead I was looking. I was like, what am I gonna do with this? It's been wound. I really should cast it on. Da 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 da. And then I came across the it's called the Fargo, and it is designed by well, put out by the Fiber Company and Kelborn Woolens. It's called Fargo, and it's this beautiful cabled moss stitch sweater, and I've always been kind of drawn to the neckline. I will post a picture of it. So I decided to go ahead and cast that on, and I've got most of a sleeve done. Decided to go ahead and start with the sleeves because, as we all know, sleeves can sometimes be dull. And these sleeves especially, because it is just moss stitch all the way up. It is, this is another thing, is that I wanted to knit a pattern that was seamed for some reason. That felt like something to do. I really can't tell you why, but I really wanted to take a pattern that needed to have the pieces knit separately, and I wanted to sew them up. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So yeah, so this is a seamed pattern. So as I said, I'm working on the sleeve. I've got it. Got a sweater on, but well, I guess it'll work. So yeah, I've got, I don't know, that much left to knit, and I think this is just about perfect. Look at how beautiful that is. Yeah, I'm so happy. I am alternating skeins. I did not do that for the cuff because I didn't care if the cuff had some pooling, and you can see it does. But once I got up to about here, I went ahead and started alternating skeins. I could have probably gotten away with it on the sleeve, but I didn't want to have any pooling, and so alternating skeins is the way that you avoid that. And as you can see, there is no pulling. It's perfectly spread amongst all the colors and the sleeve. So yeah, so I'm working on that. I don't enjoy knitting moss stitch. It's mindless. I don't have to look at it, which is nice. But yeah, there's something about stockinette that has always attracted me. But I do like the way that this looks with the rest of the sweater. So yeah, so this is not as much of a draw, especially now that I have finished the color work section of the Daybreak. I was knitting on this a lot when I was in the color work section, every time we sat down and watched TV together, but it has been sitting for a couple of days because I cast on another sweater, because that's not insane, right? I was in here and I was looking at something, and I saw this bag, and I go, you know, I wanted to make that Camaro. Why haven't I cast on that Camaro? Oh, right, because I've got other things on the needles. Well, who cares? I'm going to cast it on anyway. And so I did. This is the Camaro sweater by Tanis Fiber Arts. It has an interesting construction, but what drew me is that it is a yoke that is striped, and I had these gorgeous colors to stripe. So here is what I've got so far. Let me see if I can make this look like a sweater. That's a sleeve. That's a sleeve. There's the center front. There we go. So it's got a V right here in the front, and that is where it sits, and it kind of gives it a V-neck. So yeah, it's meant to be knit with, originally it was meant to be knit with 8 colors. She came with, it comes with 2 different like sequence ideas, but you could literally do whatever you wanted. You could knit it all out of one color. You could knit the whole sweater striped if you wanted. But in her samples, she knits one that has 8 different colors striped for a certain amount of rows, and then she has another one that is like all varied throughout. I only had 4 contrasting colors, and then my main color. So I went ahead and decided to do the 4 in the same amount of stripes, same amount of rows, but repeat it. So I've got, so this is my first color here, and then you can see right here I'm starting the second round of it. And these all are made out of, the yarns are all a knit, Nerd Knits. Nerd Knits. Gosh, maybe I should read it before I assume. Nerd String, who is a local Colorado dyer. And she's awesome. She came and did a what's it called, a trunk show at Colorful Yarns, which is my LYS in Centennial, and I bought this whole sweater's quantity there. So yeah, Nerd String. This is a DK weight. I have Rhymes with Seal. This didn't have a number, doesn't have a name on it, but I think it's hot darn. Only not darn. And then this I think was a one of a kind, and it's absolutely beautiful. And then this one might have a colorway name. I guess not, but it's a lovely like robin's egg blue. And so those are the colors that I am striping, and then for the body of the sweater I have this beautiful ochre colorway. I think it has a color name. Let me see. Oh yeah, Good Day Sunshine. So so yeah, I am really enjoying this. I started this on yesterday, Saturday. Yeah, I think I started it Saturday, and then worked on it mostly yesterday because it was my birthday weekend. I got to have the excuse to sit and knit and not be bothered, not have anybody say, well, why aren't you doing anything constructive? Because, dude, it was my birthday weekend. So anyway, yeah, I'm just absolutely in love with these colors. I think they're going to make such a beautiful sweater, and I am really enjoying it. So yeah, that's it. The whole podcast. Just really wanted to show you guys my sweaters. So I'm going to continue working on them. Hopefully this will get uploaded on my computer pretty quickly, and I can get it edited and uploaded onto YouTube. And yeah, that's it. I don't have anything else to say. This is going to be a short podcast. Hope you guys don't mind. All right, have a wonderful rest of your week. Happy knitting. Bye.